So one thing for me that I found that like I got to a point where I think I was a bit too obsessed with football, and I feel like it's really important to like spend time doing other things.
Interesting.
Like I feel like sometimes like we get lost as athletes, and like I have to be working or doing football all the time, and like.
Welcome back to the X's and O's podcast. Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you haven't already, check us out on all the socials. YouTube in particular, hit us up, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and all that jazz.
That's what's up.
On the show today, we got myself, George, the voice of reason. What's going on, people? What's going on?
What's happening?
To my right, we got the Bronze Bomber. To his right, we got Mr. Solanke.
You know the thing set.
And today's guests in the building.
Big baller,
Aaron,
no little
Mr. Free
baller.
Agent.
Big baller,
Big
not
ballers.
little baller.
Yeah.
Holy Joe.
What's going on? You good?
Chilling, man.
Yeah.
Chilling. Just got back from Brum. Yeah.
Mad.
So I'm just chilling out
Just
here
got
in
back from
London.
Bram.
Yeah. Nah, no accent there.
Yeah. And to his right, we got Glenn, also a free agent.
Yo, what you saying, man?
I'm good, man. You recently come back from Poland.
Yeah.
So technically, we got two international ballers on the show, innit? Like,
International
mad.
superstars, man.
Yeah. Why don't you give people a little insight for the people who don't know who you are? So, Glenn, tell the people what's up, man.
My name is Glenn Tunga. I'm a running back.
Can we deep the voice?
He's trying to use bedroom voice on the podcast.
I'm sending voice notes.
It's really 11:30 in the afternoon. He's trying to use bedroom voice.
Yeah, I play running back. I just come back from a season in Poland. Before that, I was playing 2 years the GFL, and then obviously Blitz player.
Yeah.
Blue
Come
and
on,
white.
G.
Mad.
Blue and white through and through.
Come on, G.
Yeah, that's a bit about me, really.
Accolades, to be fair. And Aaron?
Yeah. So played a year and a bit in America,
Mad.
like end of 2017 into the beginning of 2019, and obviously Blitz from young, from what, about 16, 15 maybe. Yeah. So Blitz youth, junior, and then a bit of senior. Yeah. And
So
then
you're literally through and through, innit?
Yeah.
Through and through.
And
And you
now-
play running back too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now Lions for university, Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, you guys, if you follow us, you would have seen Aaron on some of the clips we did with Explosion, which was a sick
I'm
day.
so
like,
upset
I
it
can't-
didn't happen this year.
Bruv, do you know it popped up in the calendar?
Yeah. And I saw the throwbacks from last year. What a vibe, man.
What a day. I
What
still
a
can't get
vibe.
over the fact that they had Red Bull.
Yeah,
like,
free
just
Red
being
Bull
given
flying
out
everywhere.
like
Like,
bruv.
the little food court in the car park.
Bruv.
It was
Is
so
it big like that?
You see how
Listen, let me
massive.
tell you something,
It's
yeah.
massive. We had planned the whole weekend just to go be in Birmingham.
Yeah.
It was like,
Explosion
Come,
is big. It's bigger than Britball.
yeah, hands down.
I know we had the Britball final in New London River Stadium, but yeah, Explosion is madness, bruv.
And for me, because the fact it was raining,
Exactly.
and there was fans all across the 4G,
Yeah,
Bruv.
all around the whole
Standing.
thing. Yeah,
and they didn't even have seats.
No.
Like, I'm talking about.
For hours in the rain.
and then on
Hours
top
in
of
the
that,
rain.
yeah, like the firework display at the end, which lasts about 10 minutes, in sync with the music.
Yeah.
Was, I literally tried to persuade the guys. I said, like, guys, we have to stay the night. Man. Like,
Yeah.
this is too loud. Like,
Man would have had a party on the pitch.
do you know what I mean?
Man
They
was trying to
had a little like pre-party on the pitch.
Yeah.
It was
DJ was
wild, man.
popping.
Yeah, it was
It
proper
was
vibe.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to if we get a season next season.
Same here, man.
For
Just
real.
trying to score some.
For real, man.
Yeah.
That game was
A lot of out there, a lot of eyes on that game. So,
A
boy,
lot, man. Yeah.
you know what's funny though, yeah? I'll never forget the first time I watched Aaron. Yeah, I was like, this guy's got such a NFL name. Like Aaron Mahoney Jones is such it's such a brand name.
No.
Like,
You can sell that bare easy. But I want to touch on Aaron quickly. You played in the States.
Yeah, man.
So for people who don't know, explain how that came about, because there's
true.
a significant link between that
Ooh.
and what's the name of the show on Netflix?
Last chance to you.
Last Chance to You. So for those who don't know, tell the people, man.
So obviously I started playing ball properly in 2016, and like I always wanted to go to America, innit? And my athletically I wasn't like the best.
yeah.
And then people like Glenn came through, Akinlade. I was always training with Akinlade at DSA, so they pushed me at having them as elders. And then like seeing boys my age go out to America, like my boy Maroff, Benji, Tiger, Kojo, who was on here, like seeing them, it drove me to come, like to get out there. So 2017, my goals were just to like destroy every record there was and get out there. So I'm hit up my coach, and he explained to me the route that I could take through DSA. And Bam, who's out there now, he's at Utah.
Yeah.
I hit him up as well, saying like, yo, bro, like I need to get out to America. Could you help me? He's like, well, get some tape, and I'll see what I could do. And that 2017 season, I just put my body on the line. I sacrificed friends, everything, just to make a name for myself, innit?
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then I got out there on a partial scholarship. They don't really give like
Wait.
people-
Slow down.
This is the first time I'm hearing about Man said you got a partial scholarship.
Yeah, so people don't realize that they can't even give you a full scholarship out there. So the thing is like, with that, they'll give you a subsidized fee, but they won't call it a scholarship.
Yeah.
So usually it's like to play in Garden City, it's like what to go to school there. It's about 11 to 15k, and
For 1 year.
Yeah, and I did not pay that. Not there. So they like help my books. They help pay for my books, my meals, everything like that. And like people like Bam, obviously he gets like a full scholarship and that. So I was out there for just like a year, just under a year, fam. But yeah, it was an experience.
I think it's sick that they offered it to you and gave you one.
For you, it was a case of here's my tape, and then just shooting your shot and saying,
so
please give this to one of the coaches. The coaches saw it and was like,
I messaged loads of coaches, and with Coach K from DSA as well. And obviously, like, his word isn't, like, he doesn't have a lot of power out there in America, so they're not always going to listen to him. Yeah. So if someone's out there in America who's a baller, they're going to listen to him, you know what I'm saying? So,
man,
like, Bam just said, yo, like, to his coaches, and then they weren't really trying to take me because they didn't think I could play internationally. Yeah. And then when I got selected to play out in Mexico, they was like, all right, cool, like,
we're going to watch it.
You're going to watch this, and
man, drop that in there real quietly. Innit?
That was the Euro ball thing.
Yeah, that was the Team Europe thing. It was a bit, we got smacked, but
experience though.
Experience.
Man.
So what was that like, walking around campus and just being like input more or less?
Yeah. So
what was it like?
People know. Even if you think they don't know, they know. Just because the way you dress, the way you approach things, and especially because out there, like when you're in JUCO, a lot of them are bounce backs. Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a fan of American football. Yeah. And like, so when I went out, before I went out there, I was trying to see who the running backs are, and I saw this guy, and I was like, rah, like, is this what he looks like in real life? Like, he's not even that big compared to me, this and the other. So things like that, and just seeing them walking around, like he plays for Nebraska now.
Oh wow.
And you know, I saw like a couple of man there, like he was there, but I didn't get to see him. Like Mike Hughes. Yeah, he came through, and I wasn't there though. But like knowing those people were there, and like walking around, you get kind of gassed. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But you get humbled as well in the weight room and on the field. So you just know you're always kept on the level. Yeah. That's why I liked it out there, man. To be honest.
So Garden City on last chance, you looked like it was a bit scrappy. Did you go out there and was it like? Did anyone try and say this guy can't ball, man? He's from the UK. Like, did they get a bit?
Yeah, you see, the thing is as well, like, but the peak thing is that in spring ball, I slipped my disc, innit? So I couldn't really play the whole of spring ball. But when I played and when I did train, people knew, like, you get ranked, and you get a black jersey, which is like you being performing well. Yeah. Orange jersey, which is like if you get too many orange jerseys, you're getting booted. And you don't. And like I think I was the top 5 with the most black jerseys from when I got there until spring ball, innit? And that was just because like I just wanted it. Yeah. And like there was people there, there was players there, and they started realizing, you know, they started coming around to me and Bam's house playing PlayStation because they kind of realized that, right, like these British guys are actually trying, they're about that life. And another thing is that you got in JUCO, I don't know about D1 obviously or D2, but in JUCO you gotta fight for your space, man. And that's what it is. It's like the hood. You just got
for real, man.
Yeah, man.
For real. That's what they presented that like. Exactly last chance you like. It's a bunch of, like you said, bounce backs and guys that are literally just from the hood trying to see if they can take their shot.
Yeah, literally, man.
I want to ask: was there any point that you thought, 1, I can't hack this, or 2, I'm finna leave, or 3, this wasn't for me?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit like when I slipped my disc. I mean, obviously, like, and certain situations happen elsewhere in America. So I was like, yeah, let me go out there and see my family, this and the other. So I checked them, and that's why I kind of left Garden City as well.
Oh, okay.
Because they weren't really helping me with my, try to get me an operation or they were trying to inject me with stuff and that stuff in it. But
I can't say I'm
talk
surprised.
too much about that one there.
Mad.
But
someone said Taro Taylor.
You know, yeah. But I think those are the times where I felt like leaving. There'd be times, obviously, like everyone, if you go through a high session, you're like, raw, this is really it.
Levels,
and you know, wake up at 5 a.m. You go for your morning sprints, and then you get back and you eat your breakfast, and you gotta make class at 7:30. Yeah. And then you got training later on. You got the weight room, and you're like, raw,
proper schedule.
I could just chill off. But then you think about all the boys back home, not just man in my age and older, but the younger ones that are gonna come and see this, and you're like, no, I can't let them see man just quit just like that, innit? So that's just why I just kept on pushing it and pushing through the injuries and through whatever. And I think those are the times where I felt.
So when you left Garden City, was the plan to try and stay or go to another sort of college?
Yeah, so I went to another college in New York. Yeah. We didn't do too well out there, and obviously I got a bit of tape up there, and from my tape from the year before as well, and coaches in America finally realizing that British ballers can play due to PPI as well. Yeah. And they were coming onto the scene then. So PPI, Brandon, he was like, well, I can help you get to college. So he put me in contact with a few colleges, and they liked what they were seeing, and I got a visit to go see Dakota and Virginia Tech. Yeah. But due to travel reasons and everything, I couldn't make that stuff. Yeah. But it's also another thing is I feel that a lot of players out there, they try to force it upon the coaches. You got to kind of take it into your own hands sometimes, especially in JUCO. So that's what happened from New York. Yeah, and then I just came back home because...
Do you think price plays a big part in it as well? Because not only do we have to fly to America, but then there's the interstate traveling as well that might take out of...
My parents, this one of the main reasons why I have to make playing ball or doing physiotherapy or something is because I want to pay my parents and let them live good, because they sacrificed so much in those years, you know what I'm saying? And it was good. It was good. They say it was good, but at the end of the day, I know that I'm their child, and them spending that much money is harsh, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for them. So my parents, without them and my aunties out in America, I wouldn't have done half of the things I did out there. So and the aunties over here. So I feel that price is a serious thing. If you don't have a backing system, well, back then anyway, now you got the NFL Academy and everything, so they can help you in PPI. You can't make it. You can't do anything out there, man, which is sad.
I think that goes to show you've obviously done pretty well to actually get out there and play out there and get tape out there as well. Because when you think about it, there's so many obstacles that you mentioned, from money to contacts to connects. So anyone that's been able to actually get out there, even to play in Europe, bro, just to get out there and play, it's accolades to due, because it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It's easier now with the links, like you said, NFL Academy and PPI and things like that, but when you got to put a lot of it on your own back, it's difficult to try and get out there. So when you do get out there, I think it's pretty decent, man.
Yeah, man. That's why I always have to be thankful for what I had and have, DSA, my family, my boys that are oldest, like Glenn and Mike and Bam, all them, because without them and my passion for it, you won't make it, man. You won't do anything.
Mad.
So, yeah, man,
you sound like you had to grow up proper quick, you know.
It sounds like that, innit?
You sound like a
vet, innit?
Like proper vet.
For real.
You can ask Glenn.
You can be a vet at any age, though, man. Depends on how early you got into the game, boy.
No, it's true. No. I think before I went out there, you can ask Glenn. I was just a clown. I was a fool. and girls.
I said, anyways, let me not talk about it.
And then when I got back,
I heard what happened in them college dorms and them.
Mad.
Shed too much light on that.
So Glenn. That's for another podcast, can't lie. So Glenn, you just come back from Poland where you played for the
Lowlanders, Bialystok. So they say their name weird.
I was gonna say,
normally
yeah.
it's your mascot, and then it's your city, then your mascot.
But theirs is
they have their mascot and then their city.
Is there
Because
some reason
Lowlanders is
behind
easier
that?
to say, boy.
Is there a reason behind that? Or
No, I don't know, man. That's just how they do it.
yeah. All right. So again, another Blitz lifer. That's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
tell us about your come up and what you've done, where you've played, how you got out to these places, because you've played a couple seasons in a few different countries now, innit?
Yeah.
So let the people know.
So I started off at uni, Southampton. I did
Stags,
2
innit?
years there.
Stags,
Stags,
Stags, we played you up.
I did 2 years there, and then like after my second year, I went to my first year at London Blitz, and I was like, yeah, I like this.
So what made you, or what gave you the confidence to go straight to the London Blitz?
Good question.
I wanted to play senior ball. My coaches were like, you should play during the summer to like get better too.
Yeah.
And I was looking at like the Warriors and Blitz, and the Warriors were far, man.
Okay,
South London was
that's
far.
fair enough. No, that's fair enough.
So it was literally just, okay, Blitz is around the corner, I'm gonna go there.
Yeah.
So I could have been a Warriors guy. So I went there, and then going into my final year at uni, I was like, I'd rather just get ready for Blitz again.
Yeah, man.
So I told my coach, I was like, yeah, I'll play like the first 2 games, but after that, I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
I want to go play Blitz.
Yeah.
And then like just being there, I was like, yeah, I want to start. Like,
Yeah.
I
So
wanna
it's fair to
compete.
say
He was
knew-
starting when you arrived.
Yeah.
He was the sort of OG running backs when you got to the Blitz.
Like guys like Bish, guys like Temi.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I want to start.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna spend this third year of uni getting ready for that.
Yeah.
And then like going into my second year, I was like one of the starters, but then like I had like injuries and stuff like that. And that was like kind of like my first eye opener to, okay, injuries are
The
Oh,
real
thing,
thing.
man.
So then like going into my third year, that's when like guys like Janelle and Jeff started going Europe, and that was like my first, okay, you can actually play in Europe.
Yeah.
And then like obviously I'm looking up some of these teams, I'm seeing nice jerseys, I'm seeing big fans, I'm seeing
Stadium,
stadiums,
yeah.
like rah, like I want this. So then like I messaged a few teams like after my second year at Blitz, and they're like, some teams got back to me, some teams air you.
Yeah.
The few teams that got back to me were like, you need a bit more tape.
Okay.
I was like, cool. So going into my third year, I was like, cool, I need more tape, and I need to play for GB, because I was kind of like, why would we take you if you're not the best running back from your country? And like the best guys play for GB. So like, in my third year, I was like, cool, I need to start, I need tape, I need to play for GB. So I got all that, and then I hit up Dresden Monarchs, and they got back to me.
Yeah.
And then like I didn't know at the time, but like it wasn't really a thing for like a GFL team to have like a European running back. It's like I didn't really understand like the privilege of like going out to Dresden and being like a European running back. Because normally, you know, they have their American running back.
Yeah.
So it was lit. Like from the first game we had like 4,000 guys there, 4,000 fans.
Crazy, man.
And like that was overwhelming. I won't even lie to you.
You know, just rewinding. So you messaged us, then they're like, yeah, come on board. Did you know what contracts look like then, or was it a case of they're just gonna give you this contract? You're like, yeah, cool, I'm down to go.
I spoke to a couple of guys about like how much they were getting and like what their contract looks like, but you know, just being a guy from the UK, I didn't like try to negotiate. It was kind of like, alright, cool. I'll
take it, man.
Yeah, I'll take it. So I took that, and then like, going out there, and like 3,000 fans. Our first game, I was like, damn, this is like, even from how we entered the game, like with the smoke, and I was like, mad.
This is real.
We've said it before. Stuff like that, just alone.
Make
I can't even lie to you, bro. That
Bro,
elevate your honestly, bro.
You'll play better
mad,
from that.
and like it just makes like the whole experience much better. Like it just makes you feel like so much more of a professional. Like when you have stuff like that, when you have all these fans come out, and then if I'm correct, it was raining that day as well. So I was expecting like, you know, Baffa fans, like, you know, like you have your two fans, and someone walking their dog. But yeah, it was crazy, and like people know your name, like people know like things about you. I was like, rah, this is a lot. So that first year at Dresden was dope, and like I had signed back to go back next season before the end of the season. I was like, yeah, I want to come back.
Were you at that point? Were you able to negotiate your contract, or was it a case?
That point it was like you can kind of bring up stats now. You can kind of be like, okay, like, yeah, like, you know, I finished this place in the league in running backs. Okay. You know, I contributed this to the team. So you can kind of like, they'll offer you something, but you can always like ask for more, especially when like you get to know like what other guys are earning too. You get to meet like other guys who have maybe like been imports longer than you have. So you kind of know you're worth more. So you can kind of be like, this is my standing ground. And like other teams will look at you. So like they might not come and say nothing because they know you're signed, but come end of the season, other teams that you've played against will be like, oh, okay, like a European running back that's like done well in the GFL, like we'll take that. So yeah, that made like negotiating easier.
Yeah.
Like,
Just to check that, because you got to meet different types of players, from different countries across the globe. What do they rate us? In terms of like British American football, do they? What are they? Honest, just be honest. Just be sure. What do they think about our league and our
players? Yeah,
bruv, that's if they even know.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I think people don't really care.
No,
do you know what I mean? Like you have like places like Finland where people care. People care about like what's happening. People watch their games. Like no one cares about UK football. No one cares about like you could be the top Russian in the league. No one would care.
Mad.
So like no one cares really. So it's kind of like
crazy.
But can we blame? I don't blame them. Like
like
can't say
like when you go out there, it's crazy. Like when you look at like how the setup is like in different countries, it's mad. Like even just like simple stuff like having to share film. Like other countries have rules on that. Like you have to do it by a certain date.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like Finland, I think it's like 48 hours. You have to share like the wide view, and like another 24 hours after that, you have to share like a tight view.
Come on.
I think like Austria, like every team that signs up automatically has access to huddle. Like it comes with your team registration.
Wow. Okay.
As opposed to having like the team decide, just little stuff like that.
Man.
But yeah, I was like, so I done my second year at Dresden, and like that was dope too. But I was like, cool, I want to like go somewhere else now. Like I had a taste of like the GFL, and then stuff with like the NFL like global combine happen, and stuff with like the CFL like global combine happen, and then like and then Poland happened. And,
CFL was interesting, man, because again, that's the first of its kind in the UK for Britball anyway. So again, for those of you that don't know, the CFL hosted their first ever CFL X UK Combine, or BAFA Combine if you want, with the aim of taking guys over, hopefully, to the CFL. And Glenn was obviously one of the guys that stood out and was selected. How did you prepare for that progress? If I'm not incorrect, for that process, even if not incorrect, it was with your training brand, so ATP.
Yeah, so ATP. So like me and Mike ran ATP, and like after my second year at Dresden, that was like I was like on that program as like a coach and like an athlete. I did that to get ready for the international program, the NFL international program, and like the CFL global combine. So that was definitely
because you went to the international pathway program as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so I like got invited to. They had like their combine in Cologne in Germany. They invited like 50 guys, and like that was dope to like be invited to that.
And how would you compare the two combines? Obviously, one's like NFL, so pathway, one is CFL. But how would you compare them?
I feel like the NFL combine was a bit more exclusive, because it wasn't like one place,
right?
Like at once in the year. So like it was like, okay, if you're one of the 50 guys that got invited, it's like I met like a lot of guys who I knew that were ballers there. Whereas like the CFL one, because it was like in different countries, a few more people had a bit more access to it. And like obviously because the NFL would have much more money to spend on like the combines, like they flew us out from like the countries that we were in, like they like paid for accommodation and stuff like that. Where the CFL one was kind of like, okay, it's here, get here, and
find your way,
find your way here to Bristol on a 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
I think like, and you guys are examples of this, and Remy as well, Snowman, for playing abroad. Like, so I started playing 10, 11 years ago now. At my first year of uni, I knew nothing about the sport apart from, because I'm from North London, so I used to see Blitz training at Market Road and being like, what the hell is this, bro? I used to play rugby at the time. So to fast forward 10 years and seeing that we've got an NFL International Academy, we've got guys like yourselves, Aaron and Glenn, who have played abroad, one in the US, one in Europe. I think things are definitely moving. It's not what we want it to be right now, but the fact that guys like yourselves have had opportunities to go out and do that, and probably will still continue to go and do. Like I imagine you want to go and play CFL next, and possibly, hopefully, the NFL, because it's not impossible, man. There are guys out there doing it. Like it's not impossible at all. And if anything, now is the kind of time to try and hit those goals, isn't it? Like, obviously, you got bags of tape, recommendation after recommendation, but the processes that are in place now definitely allow guys to reach that. I guess it's all down to like what we've said on other pods and what you guys have said, like how much do you want it, man? Like
100%.
How much do you want it? Yeah, you're going to get injured. We'll come to that actually. You're going to get injured. You're going to have obstacles, like Aaron said, but if you really want it, it's not impossible, man.
Nah,
it really isn't. It really isn't.
Poland, what was that like? Generally,
Poland was different.
You see you raking up the numbers.
Poland was different, but it was a good experience. I got to meet like loads of ballers there. I got like to meet Coach Booker. Like I had heard like so many things about Coach Booker from like guys who had played for him. So it's kind of like, okay, to meet the man himself. And it was just like a privilege to be able to play football this season. I feel like loads of guys didn't play. I think only 4 countries had a season. So like Finland, Sweden, Poland. Denmark got cancelled early. And Austria had like their 2 teams that were playing. Like just to be able to play that season was like, I appreciate that. And like to get good tape out of it as well. And like for the team to go as far as we did, that was like cool. Like that was a nice experience too.
I saw in one of your posts, you guys were in like some chamber, some room, like a.
Oh yeah,
what is that? What's that?
Or something.
It was like oxygen therapy. It's like the
Oh,
team
is it?
What's that about?
So like I don't really know the science behind it, but it was like something like the quality of oxygen and the time that you spend there would like help with like recovery and stuff. So like we got invited to like to go in there. We had to like depressurize, which was uncomfortable as hell.
Why is that?
Because you know, like when you go on a plane and
your ears,
we had to do that for like half an hour.
Mad.
And then like then we'd have access to the room itself. Like you could sleep in there.
I can't lie, this sounds like some hyperbolic time chamber, bro.
Yeah, like, it was real, like that.
For real.
I slept throughout the whole thing, but like we were just chilling in there, and then like for like 2-3 hours, and then, that was dope.
Like a little taste of what's on the other side.
You know what I mean?
The
good life.
Imagine what the levels are like in the NFL, bro. Like, if you're doing this now.
So ATP Performance, that's like your baby.
Yeah.
So how did that kind of come about? Tell us about that, a bit about that, and how that came about.
So obviously Mike went to America, and I had played in Europe, and I think like we kind of had exposure to like what strength and conditioning and like what performance training is like on the other side. So I got to play around guys who had like had experience like going through like that system in America, and then we kind of felt that like we're lacking that in the UK. Like, there's a few people who do it, but like just in terms of like people having like something that's accessible. We felt like there wasn't really that in the UK. Even like from like a mental standpoint of like how athletes like attack like competition and stuff like we felt like that was lacking. So like me and Mike thought that we'd like create ATP and then like basically have like a place where like guys, especially younger guys, can come and train and like get better as athletes and like work on like their athlete development, but obviously like put guys in like a position where like they fall in love with competing, where like they're mentally tough, so when they do go to like the next level, that it's not a case of like, oh, you know, you're not fast enough or you haven't started in the gym yet, so you're not like behind. We felt that like a lot of guys in the UK start working out or start competing at a really late age, which like puts you at this disadvantage against like not just Americans but guys who go to Europe. Like you have other countries where like guys have been playing football, been like competing or had access to the gym from young, so like they're ready for that. But like we feel like in the UK, guys don't really start going gym until like maybe they're 18 or 19, and by then it's late because your European or like American counterparts have been there, they've built a good foundation. So like we founded ATP on like the idea that like we would have people training like athletes. So like it wouldn't even just be for like athletes. Like if you're like just a regular guy who wanted to like challenge yourself and like work on like your athletic attributes, you could come to us and like we'd work on that, like stuff like your speed, agility, your performance vision, stuff like mobility, conditioning, like just basically all round. And
one of the things I really like, one of the things I really like about it is it's something that Paris does quite a lot. Like going to the gym is all good, but there's so much off the field you've got to do. And a lot of the stuff you guys do is quite great actually. Like there's so much that you need to be doing outside of the gym, and we talk about it all the time. Obviously it's not something that a lot of guys focus on, so the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing is sick in my opinion. I think it's really good. I've seen a lot of the tape, it looks pretty decent. My bad.
It's the whole mantra of just what you say about outwork everyone. I love that when you said that takes it to a different type of level. Is there like plans to have like maybe a facility?
I mean, like,
I know you're always at the New River. During lockdown, most of the time you can catch you at the New River. But are you planning to have like invest in like a facility?
Yes, like the long term goal is to like have our own facility and like just have like our own building where guys can come and work out. Like you have so many of them in the US. Like guys have their own facility where guys can come and work out, where guys can come and like even stuff like physiotherapy. It's just a facility where like dedicated to sports performance. So, like our dream is to have that in the UK where guys can come and like you can come and do a sports performance. You have a gym there. You have like or like designated physios that are there to see you as an athlete, not just like okay, can you walk?
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
But like stuff
definitely.
like, is your body in like shape for you to compete?
Yeah.
It's like our long-term goal is to have that and like just have ATP be big, really.
Trust me.
Sick.
Yeah.
Trust me. Little collab or maybe little sponsorship and that. You never know.
You never know.
No,
So like, so what's next? Essentially, like, what is next for the both of you?
So the CFL, I want to go CFL, man.
Yeah.
Like, so the CFL is having the national combine in March.
Okay.
They got back to us, like, the aim between now and then is to get ready for that and just be ready to compete and like,
I can't lie, we're gonna be there.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll be
So, obviously, on the day of the CFL thing, they didn't actually mention your name. What was the process like? Was it a couple of weeks and then you got an email saying, "Bish bash bush, this is what's happening, and all flights and that included come down." Do you know what I mean?
So like,
VIP.
obviously they announced David on the day, but
yeah.
then like they had told like everyone else that like they're gonna go through everything and like announce
all the tape.
the rest of the guys on another day.
Yeah.
But obviously before that day, they had like told us like individually about you can't announce it publicly.
Okay.
And then it was kind of like, okay, cool. This is the day that we're expecting you guys to be here.
Yeah.
There'll be someone from like the CFL to like call you and like go through like flights and stuff, because obviously there's guys from like different countries.
Yeah.
So like there'd be guys to like, you know, what airport doing the fly out from and stuff like that. So yeah, that was like the aim, but obviously because of COVID,
exactly that.
all of that got cancelled.
Were coaches, had any coaches reached out to you prior to that? Have you sort of looked at the league and thought, oh yeah, it'd be dope to play for this team, or is it just a case of wherever I end up, man, I'm just trying to...
So like between like them like saying that, okay, cool, like you're invited to the national combine, and I guess the season being cancelled, obviously teams would like call you and like, I guess kind of get to know you and like, I guess like a normal
Like
interview
interview,
call,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, what have you done? Have you had any injuries? You know,
Okay.
why do you play the sport? Do you know anything about the CFL? Because it's slightly different. So like you'd have like Zoom calls and stuff like that where like teams would call you and like have interviews and stuff like that. So that was cool.
legit,
Yeah.
man.
Salute, fam.
And Aaron, what would you say is next for you, man?
Just like Glenn, innit, to be honest. GFL, hopefully, like next year or anywhere in Europe. Like I was in Karlstad the other day with my boy Eddie because he balled out there, and I was speaking to the coaches out there as well. They wanted me to play out there a few years ago, so I don't know. Maybe I might play out there next year. If not, I'll try anywhere else in Europe and just get some tape out in Europe or and then from there. At the end of the year, I'm trying to do the CFL combine myself, the one over here. I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think I'll be able to do very well in that one there, because we've been doing combines all our life. DSA and that, innit? So so I'm kind of used to the atmosphere and everything, and that's why I think Glenn did well as well. So that's the next steps.
It's not a new environment. It's
exactly.
So you know, one thing I found interesting, you mentioned when Glenn was at the CFL how you did a different warm up to everybody else.
I remember
everyone. I remember some people thinking, what's he doing? And I remember you wanted to check. I was like, bruv, do your thing, man. If that's what, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be by the book. Like, you need to do whatever it is you need to do. Sort of thing.
It's just because it was just weird, like doing a warm up for someone else. Like everyone's body's different. Everyone's been like doing different workouts, especially like the combine. Like it's mentally tough. So like I'd rather do something that I'm familiar with, something that I know is going to get me ready, not do someone else's warm up and then feel like, but I haven't done this, I haven't done that. It's like I just had to double check. Like, is that cool?
Yeah, I remember.
Like, okay, cool. Put my headphones in, let me do my own warm up, and then that was it, really.
What's your whole philosophy in terms of like the body and just preparation, you know, to play the sport? Like,
as a running back as well.
Yeah, as a running back, obviously.
That's a tough question.
It's a mental thing a lot.
Yeah, a mental thing like is big. Like I feel like just knowing and believing that you're better than like everyone else, I feel like is important. Not from like you're being cocky, but like just knowing that like I worked way too hard in the off season to like to not run you over or to not play well, and like just getting ready, just like doing the best I can. There's other guys that I think are better than me or like on the same level. I'm always thinking like, what are they doing right now to get ready for next season? Like I can't be taking like too many days off, or like I can't be chilling at home or not pushing myself, because like the next guy who wants my spot is probably outworking me right now. So it's like, you know, like just from an athletic standpoint, like am I working on my speed? Am I working on my conditioning? Am I making sure that like I'm healthy?
That's right.
So like just stuff like, you know, stretching, making sure my mobility is on point. Just that really, just always trying to be ready, I guess.
Would you say the same, Aaron, or slightly different?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll say the same, to be honest. Like, and I think also it's the people you're around as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not around people that are trying to push, not necessarily for something that you're going for, but on that same wavelength, you know what I'm saying? Especially the uni I go to, everyone there wants to be successful, you know what I'm saying? So now when I'm there, exactly, when I'm there now and I got all my boys back home as well, everyone's driven. So like I don't have no time not to be driven.
Yeah.
And I've always been driven from young. So I think that's the main thing. Like you gotta be driven, otherwise you're gonna get exposed on the field, man. And like Glenn said before, like there's no place for hiding on the field. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you gotta be prepared for that. So you just gotta be driven.
Jeez, Glenn moving like the Yoda, you know.
Even got the Master Splinter hat on.
You can't, but like you all know that you can't hide on the field. Like everyone's gonna see it, whether it's like your teammates or your coaches. You can't hide on the field. So it's like I'd rather not be in a position where like I'm having to explain myself, like why did you do that, or how you let this guy light you up like that. So
any low points in football? Any mistakes you made that for the young ones coming up? Obviously you guys are still young, but like the younger ones coming up, you know, like the NFL Academy guys, any like mistakes that you would have, any advice you would give to the young ones, what they shouldn't do, what you would have done differently?
So one thing for me that I found that like I got to a point where I think I was a bit too obsessed with football, and I feel like it's really important to like spend time doing other things.
Interesting.
Like I feel like sometimes like we get lost as athletes, and like I have to be working or doing football all the time. And like if I was to ask you like who are you outside football, some guys can't explain that because all they are is a running back or a receiver, and like you know, like football has an expiry date. So like I feel like spending like time away from football, whether it's with family or finding hobbies that you love, is just as important as like the time you spend training or like in the gym. Like make sure that you have a life outside football.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah, I feel like it just puts you in a better position to perform, because then you're not in your head all the time. You're not like always stressing out. And I feel like the younger guys, I guess, would just be enjoy it, man. Football's fun. Like especially being in the UK, I don't feel like you need to play football. Like how like some guys are in the US, like it's a choice. So like if you're gonna do it, like have fun, enjoy like the process, enjoy like competing, enjoy the gym, enjoy all of that, because we're in a privileged position. Like we don't have to play football. It's not like I have to change my life. Like, well, for me personally, like it's always a choice. So like, enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll admit it. I live vicariously through your Instagram posts and your Facebook stories. Do you know, sir? Not that I'm stalking you. I just find that you always enjoy this. You know, you enjoy football, and like I said, I only got one life to live.
Exactly.
So enjoy it while you're alive.
Man.
You know,
it's fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I think a lot of the things is like the youngers, like just live it, man. Enjoy it, literally, because I was talking to Glenn the other day about it. It's like, you must have put up a post from 3 years ago, and it was us a lot in DSA. And like back then I was like, nah, man, I don't want to be here. I want to be in America. Like, live your life. Trust me, because like the boys I'm seeing in the NFL Academy, you got it very, very good. You know what I'm saying? And 100%. What you got there can make you into a good man, like a good person. So just live it and enjoy it, and then 100%. Become the baller that you want to be. And like that's the thing. That's the one thing I do look back on. I'm like, yo, like I should have just lived my life and enjoyed it at the time, because it was good. It was sick.
Opportunities, man. Trust me, man. Before we wrap up, you guys want to shout anyone out? Ins, DSA.
Yeah, shout out Ins. Shout out Chris for looking after me and stuff like that. ATP, obviously. Shout out if you guys don't work out. Shout out like everyone that's like supported and stuff like that.
EXO suiting that. What's going on with that?
That's dope. EXO's are dope. EXO is like, I feel like it's hard to, you'd have to wear it to like know, because I feel like every other like compression brand probably like tells you that the compression top does stuff, but like I'm always in mine. Like, I'm always wearing it because like it's nice. Like I feel good wearing it. I feel like I had like a shoulder injury that I didn't tell no one about.
Them ones on the silent.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't major, but like my shoulder was hurting. But like, I feel like that helped and like coming back and stuff like that. Like I was in the gym, still being able to like work out and stuff like that, because I felt like that helped a lot. So shout out those guys.
Calm.
Yeah, shout out kind of the same people, you know, but also my boys like Chad, Eddie, all my UOB boys, you know what I'm saying, Lambie, Mike, and my family, man, because like real talk, like family first. Like, sorry to go on here quickly, but
no, man,
I messaged Steve-O, the madman, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, because he put something up the other day and I just swiped up on him on Snap, and then he replied to man and he voice noted me and he's like talking and he said about family first. So yeah,
decent, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I messaged Steve on Insta, fam. So
yeah,
I'm a bit annoyed by
that.
Yeah. Promise people on Snap is not trying to respond to my Insta.
Trust, bro. They like that. They like to move like that, bro. But
yeah, nah, shout out all of them and like, yeah, everyone that's doing well for themselves and trying to do well, man.
Yeah,
like all them academy boys and that.
Boy.
Yeah, man, for real.
Game changer.
Sick, man. That was a dope episode. I enjoyed that, man.
Yeah.
Again, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a sick episode, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, follow us on all the socials. Check out all our content. There's plenty of stuff for you to get into, and we'll see you on the next pod. Appreciate it. Peace.
Peace.
Done.